This is the crunch times of streams during the beginning of drops. I got 26 more hours I gotta stream this month. Might as well do them now, because I spent some money on mom. I spent some money on her husband, and I want to buy myself a new bed cover for my truck because mine is destroyed. It is fucked, and bed covers, if you know what it is, are very expensive. So we're here to grind. Windshield, I gotta do the windshield too. But the windshield I've had held off on because it's gonna be like a 2 to 3 day affair, and I have this week. I have I just had a fucking heart attack, chat. Oh my god. My god, I do. My heart just fucking fell out of my chest. I know, chat. Look, as a streamer, sometimes things can get kind of spooky. And I looked over at my phone, and I had a text from a number I didn't recognize, and it was a picture of my house. And I looked over, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Don't listen to Flats.
So I picked it up.
His birthday.
It was my donkeys I got delivered an hour ago.
Flats a happy birthday.
It's my donkeys from over an hour ago. The photo just went through from them sending like where it was. Oh my god, dude. Like,
I completely
like
forget it's TTS
out of my
Tuesday.
chest,
Also,
out of my
birthday,
ass,
Mancap, Phil's
gone.
birthday.
That was something else. Okay, sorry. What was I talking about beforehand? I don't remember. Oh, the windshield thing. Yeah, I need to get that replaced, and I think insurance should cover it, but it needs to get like recalibrated and shit, and it's gonna take like a day or two to get it all done. And this week is tough because the holidays, plus drops now, is like really important to stream for those. And then I have a sleep study at the beginning of the year, and so yeah, I got a lot of things I gotta get done, and I only have one car, so I can't give it up. What happened to my first windshield? I don't know what happened to it. Like, I came outside and there was a crack all the way across the bottom. It goes like 3/4 of the way across the windshield. I think it was a heat crack. That's what I thought, because it's about where the defroster is. But I didn't, like, all I did was start it from my house. So like I started my truck from inside, the auto starter, and then it turned off after 15 minutes. And then I started it again like another 15 minutes later because I was supposed to leave right away, and then I ended up not leaving right away, so it turns off after a little bit. So I restarted it again, walked outside, got in, started driving, and giant crack along the windshield. I was like, when did that get there? So I don't know if it was from the remote start, or what's it called? Or if it was already there. Let's has got remote start money. I drive a Honda, my guy. Every new Honda has remote start. Every Honda since like at least 2016 has remote start. Every single one of them. All you gotta do is double tap the lock button, and then hold the little, like, you know, there's like a little circle, like a little, you know, thing. You hold that for like 8 seconds and it starts up. They don't tell you have it, but every Honda has it. Imagine not driving a manual. Imagine not using the technological advances of our species that are more efficient than the old ones, and they're more automated. You drive a manual, if either you're doing like some actual street racing, you know, some actual, like, you need that very minuscule amount of extra control, or strictly for fun. That's it. If you are doing it off of efficiency, can't beat it. It's just technology's advanced. It's just better than you. That's like saying you don't use ABS brakes, and it's like, I pump my brakes the old-fashioned way. Well, if you ever watch a brake testing simulation, ABS are way better than even pumping the brakes, or even pumping the brakes with ABS. ABS is so smart and so good that it is by far the best version of brakes. Now, obviously, there's certain things that obviously ABS can't do, like if you're talking about like braking on ice and stuff like that, but that's, you also shouldn't be slamming on the brakes on ice. That's not the system's fault, that's the driver's fault. I know many 30-year-olds that don't know a manual, but why do you need to know a manual? Like, think about it. In today's day and age, why do you need to know a manual? The only reason I could think of is if you're traveling, okay? Unless your job is specific to use a car with a manual, which is typically like truckers. Only other thing you could use you need a manual for, other than for funsies, is if you travel abroad. There's a lot of other countries have manuals, and if you wanted to rent a car there, you'd have to have an automatic car. Otherwise, you wouldn't know how to drive cars in that country. But if you're also visiting another part of the world, well, there's also the possibility that you could just probably take taxis / Ubers. You know? Manual best anti-theft in America? I don't know if I'd say that. I feel like if someone took the time to break into your car, they're not really going to care if it's a manual or not. They're just going to drive it down the street, crash it, and then leave. Google is telling me that manual is better for fuel economy. That's interesting. That's actually very interesting that it says that. You would think that an automatic would be better, just because it's like everything is more automated. But I'm sure there's some actual logic to behind that. But I mean, if you're talking fuel efficiency, is there manual Priuses? Because if there's not manual Priuses, then couldn't you just get a Prius and then you just win? Because the automatic Prius is more efficient than the manual car. Automation doesn't automatically mean better. But in the terms of, can you shift better than an automatic? Other than in very niche situations, the answer is yes. As an average human being and an average driver, you're not talking like a specialized work, you're not talking about specialized racing. As a human operator, automatic is much better.
Double kill.
Manual is only cheaper. I feel like that's not always true, though. I feel like there's a lot of cars that you actually pay more for a manual, especially sports cars, because there's prestige and the quote thrill of the driving, like with driving a manual. You know, I feel like there's definitely cars that they actually charge you more for a manual.